Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the iWorkinSport live interview. This week, we will have sessions of this short series called Meet the Programs. So this is the third time we're doing this. Meet the Programs is a selection. We bring a selection of our academic partners who will be presenting their courses and answering your questions. Those are academic partners that will be at the upcoming iWorkinSport Education Virtual Expo, which will happen next Wednesday, the 27th of October. And then in the following week, also on Wednesday, November 3rd. So if you want to connect in real time with the admissions team, with admissions teams, and with alumni from the best sport management programs in the world, register to attend for free. By the way, breaking news, if you didn't know that yet, we announced this week we will also be giving a scholarship to one of the attendees who applies and get accepted to enroll in one of those programs, right? So it will be a full scholarship if the course costs up to 5,000 euros, or a partial one if it's more expensive than that. We will allocate up to 5,000 euros to give as a scholarship to someone that will be accepted to one of the courses, right? So as I said, if you want to register now, there's a link in the description below, or just go to iWorkinSport.com/EVE, and you'll get all the information there. By the way, if we're just meeting, this is your first time here, my name is João Frigerio. I'm the founder of iWorkinSport, and I should have started by thanking you for being here with us today, but so I'm doing this now. Thank you. Let me know if this is your first time watching any of our live streams, or if you're coming back. Just write in the comments. Also, it would be great to know where you're watching from. We always ask that. Let me know if you will be participating in the Education Virtual Expo next week, or if you have already participated in one of our events. And if you're watching the replay, you can leave that in the comments. We read all of them, we reply to all of them, and we're looking forward to interacting with you. So you may be watching this on YouTube or on LinkedIn, but also know that we have channels on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find us as iWorkinSport everywhere. Now let me introduce my guest. I'm going to talk to Abhijeet Singh. He works for the Rajasthan Royals School of Business. Will be the first program presented here at the event. He is in India and will be joining us right now. Let me actually get him in. Hello, Abhijit.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Hey, hi, Joe. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. Hi to everyone who is watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn.
Great, Abhijit. It's great to have you here with us. As I said, before we go in details in the course, in the program, explain to people that might be interested in enrolling in a course with you, let's start talking just a little about you. Tell us a bit of your background, and maybe introduce yourself, and then we go from there.
Sure. Thank you, Joe. Hello, everyone. I'm Abhijeet Singh. I've been working with Rajasthan Royals. I'm a part of the New Ventures team. At New Ventures, we look into what are the different initiatives which Rajasthan Royals can get into and use its brand to leverage it and reach out to an even wider fan base, and also grow areas related to sports. So at Rajasthan Royals New Ventures, one of our main focus areas is on online education. So we recently launched Royals School of Business. And before I speak further about Royal School of Business, let me take some time to introduce myself. So I am based in India, and I've been working with Rajasthan Royals for some time now. Prior to this, I was in the management consulting world for a few years, where I was consulting retail and automotive clients. But then this opportunity came up, and sports is something that I'm really passionate about, which is why I thought this is a great way to get into the world of sports, which I hope will sort of also inspire you to get into sports, because it's like up and coming. There's so many opportunities, so many roles to play in the world of sports, and I'm sure you will find a niche somewhere. So that's about me. About Royal School of Business, we just recently launched it a couple of months back. You might have seen it on LinkedIn, wherein we are offering online sports education courses, which are related to sports. Some are not directly related to sports, but tangentially related, and we do it in conjunction with universities. So that's a small description of Royal School of Business.
Right. Thank you, Abhijit. And so, where exactly are you based?
So I'm based in Mumbai, India.
You're based in
Yeah,
Mumbai. Right.
yeah,
So I think my first question is, when I got to know about the program, I found a bit unusual to have a cricket team launching education courses. So can you maybe walk us through the journey of how Rajasthan Royals got into the education space?
sure. I'd be happy to do that. So Rajasthan Royals has always been a pioneering franchise, in the sense we have always been the forerunner in a lot of different fields. We were the team that won the first edition of the IPL to start with, and we've always tried to look at how can we innovate ourselves further, how can we differentiate ourselves further from the rest of the franchises. And what we notice is that sports, not just globally, but specifically within India, is a booming market. It's going to be worth hundreds of billions of dollars in the coming 10 to 15 years, right? And sports has really started to come up as a possible career pathway for people like who are graduating from schools in India. And why I talk specifically about India is obviously we are a part of the Indian Premier League, one of the 8 teams that participate in the Indian Premier League, which is the world's biggest cricket league. And like it's where the world's best cricketers come for 2 months and start their wares and sort of wow the entire world. So everyone follows the IPL very keenly, which is why being a part of the IPL has given us this brand name. And why get into sports education is because obviously there are so many opportunities, but there are not enough people who are trained in the field of sports management, right? We have institutes in India which offer certain sports management degrees, but they're not too well known, or probably they are not everyone has access to that, right? So again, something that the lockdown has taught us, or something that the whole pandemic has taught us, is that anyone can study from anywhere, right? Which is where our online sports education courses come in. So we saw that there is a gap. There's like a real gap in sports education within India, and we are targeting the Indian market, but we also have global offshoots. And we just felt that this is the right time to introduce some sports related courses with in conjunction with universities, and see how that works out. So which is why right now, like we have an offering of 6 courses at this point. We are active in the areas of sports management, as in we have courses in the areas of sports management. We have a foundation course and an advanced course. We have a sports media and broadcasting course. We have a social media marketing course. We have a sports operations course. And very recently, we launched a very interesting program in collaboration with Insead, which is called Leadership and Performance. So these courses, our majority of the courses are in conjunction with Deakin University, which is a very well-known Australia-based university. So all our primary 5 courses are in conjunction with them, while INSEAD is the one that we have recently collaborated with to launch the Leadership and Performance course. Now,
Right.
what sets our courses apart is that rather than just being like a very plain and simple sports education course, we try to make it very interesting. We try to bring in real life examples, on the field examples, by tapping into our extensive network that we have as part of Rajasthan Royals. So we have access to world class players, we have access to great coaching staff, we have access to so Kumar Sangakkara is the director of Rajasthan Royals, right? And Sanju Samson is the captain of Rajasthan Royals. So we reach out to those people and we get case studies made with their support, so that when students take this course anywhere in the world, they're not just looking at theoretical concepts, but they're also looking at how those concepts are applied on the field, because they're looking at real life examples. So I think that's what sets our course apart.
Right, right. Thank you for that. We're actually going to talk about each course a little bit further down the line. Let me just, before I move to other questions, there's a comment here from Otello James, talking from Dakar in Senegal, saying that this is his first time here and is looking forward for the expo next week. Otello, thank you for the message. If you have any questions to Abhijit, like if anybody else if has questions, you can write them here and we will get to them later on. But thank you. Before we go into more sort of details about sort of each course, tell us a bit more about the vision and mission of the Royals School of Business.
Sure. So our vision is to sort of have like a very clear cut pathway for sports management, for people who are like graduating or coming out of college, or just growing up. When people think about what they want to be in their lives, we want them to also think of the sports industry as a very lucrative, as a very feasible option. Okay, so we want that sort of a culture to be built, so that whenever somebody completes their studies, or like when they sort of graduate from college, they seriously think of entering a dynamic field like sports, right? So we want to sort of spread this awareness, first of all, about how interesting sports roles can be, and then we also want to make sure that the top class roles that come in, that keep coming in, they get staffed with the best people, the best talent out there. Okay, so we want like the creme de la creme of the world gunning for roles in sports. So that's our long-term vision, wherein we make sports management a very viable career alternative.
Right. Let's talk a little bit more about the partnership with Insead that you just mentioned. So does that mean that you're going beyond the sports-centric courses? What next?
Yes.
What
Yes.
was the motive of collaborating with Insead, which is a pretty big school based on our friends, and
Yep.
maybe what are the objectives of the programs?
Yes, sure. So what we're doing with INSEAD is a one of a kind partnership, wherein we have tied up with them to launch this leadership course that is targeted towards working professionals who are leading teams within an organization. Okay, so anyone out there working in any industry. So this is not specific to sports. This is an industry agnostic course, wherein anyone working in any industry can take up this course, and it would help them out in their leadership journey as they move ahead. So this is what the course is for. Insead, as most of us here would know, is a global brand. It has its home base in France, but it has campuses in Singapore, Abu Dhabi, I guess US as well. So there are a lot of campuses in different countries out in, for Insead, and it has like an alumni base of around 60,000 people, if I'm not wrong, globally. So obviously Insead is like the world's #1 business school. So I think we are very thrilled to be partnering with Insead for this course, because it's like the pinnacle of management education, and it's where leaders are made, like the leaders of the future are made. So I think it seems like a very tactical collaboration, wherein Insead is coming in with their world-class faculty, and we are coming in with the whole cricketing side of leadership, right? Because when you look at sports, or when you look at any game, you see that the camera always pans towards the leader, always pans towards the captain. Everyone's always thinking that what's the captain thinking? Okay, what are they going to do right now? There's so much decision making involved, and all of it is on the spot, right? Sometimes you don't get a lot of time to sort of execute those decisions, or sometimes you make great plans but they don't come off on the ground, right? A lot of times those things happen as well. So how do you sort of learn from those experiences, right? So for those reasons, I think it's we didn't have to go far. We had Kumar Sangakkara as part of the Rajasthan Royals, the management staff. So we have him as our director, and he's an ex-president of the MCC, right, which is a prestigious institution in itself, and he has led Sri Lanka, for a few years as the captain at the top-notch level of competitive sport, right? He has led Sri Lanka to the final of the World Cup as well, which is the biggest tournament in cricket.
Right.
So I think it was very, very helpful to get someone like Kumar Sangakkara and someone like Sanju Samson come in and talk about what their experiences have been on the field, right? How what does leadership mean to them, right? And
Right.
how do they make other people around them? How do they empower people around them as leaders, right? Because the leader's job is to create more leaders and not just followers, right? Because a leader has to leave behind a legacy, right?
Right.
So I think
Great
it's a
quote.
very interesting course, yeah, for anyone who is even minorly interested in cricket, and anyone who is out there wanting to lead a team, like, because everyone in here has a career aspiration that they want to lead others, that they want to lead teams, right? So I think it's perfect for them.
No, that's great. And so, what's the exact title of the Rajasthan, the Royals course with Insead?
Yeah, it's leadership and performance,
Leadership and
lessons from
performance.
business and cricket. Yes.
And so that one specifically, how can one apply for that one? Is that online only, or do you have courses in person?
No, so this is an online only course, and it is a cohort learning model. Right now, we have our registrations open. So we are accepting registrations until 10th of November. So we have around 22 or 23 days left for wherein we are accepting registrations from people. After that, once the registration period closes, then a week after that, we will have the classes starting for the same, which will be again delivered online. So the classes will go on for 4 to 5 weeks, and this will be a cohort learning model wherein everyone, like all people who are part of the same class, they will start on the same day and they will finish on the same day. So
Right.
that's how the course is structured. Registrations are open on the Rajasthan Royals website.
Right.
So if you go to Rajasthan Royals, there is a specific tab for Royals School of Business, and within Royal School of Business, we have all our courses. Within one of those is the leadership and performance course. Yes, so people can apply there.
Right. And so it's the cohort. So it lasts for how long again?
It lasts for 4 to 5 weeks.
4 to 5 weeks. Right.
Yes.
And but are there live lectures? Are there times that they must connect all at the same time, and then there's the majority of the time do they study on their own? Is that how it
Yeah.
works?
So the majority of the time is people studying on their own on using pre-recorded content, but there's also like a live component as well. So there's some component which is live as well, wherein people will have to join at the same time. But the majority of it is pre-recorded, so people can take the course at their own pace. But having said that, there are specific directions which Insead will offer as to that, you will have to complete these many course modules by the end of week 1 or week 2 or week 3. So those directions will be there, but on the overall, it's not like those targets are not set by day. Those targets are set by week, so that people have sufficient time apart from the daily schedules to also invest in that.
Great. There's already some questions arriving here. There's
Mhm.
Hamir Singh that asked a question that we're going to address in a second. Also, Tanguy Koifik also sends comments. We will get to both of them in a minute, so stay
Sure.
there with us. Before I do that, since we talked about the leadership program that you do with INSEAD, I would like you to talk a bit more details about the other programs, the sports specific ones. So there's
Sure.
another 5 programs, right?
Sure. Yeah. So there are 5 programs.
So what
So
are remind
yeah.
us of what they are again?
Sure. So we and all 5 of these programs are in collaboration with Deakin University, which I said earlier is an Australia-based university and like our first partner
Yeah.
of Royal School of Business. So very memorable collaboration with them. So the courses that we have with them are Sports Marketing Foundation, which is sort of a primer or like an introductory course on sports marketing. And then we have something that offers more of a deep dive, which is Sports Marketing Advanced. So the Sports Marketing Advanced course. Apart from these 2 courses, we have a sports media and broadcasting course, wherein we have special inputs and special case studies from Mayanti Langer, who is a very, very famous, a very renowned sports presenter in India. So we have the sports media and broadcasting course that we are doing with Mayanti Langer. We also have a social media marketing course, which is again not limited to just sports, but with also like a specific flavor of sports. And we recently launched sports operations and facilities management course, which talks more about how sports events are executed, how stadiums are managed. So, like I said, these five courses are with Deakin University. The foundation course is priced at around $75, while the rest of the courses are priced somewhere around 200 to $250 in that price range.
Right. So with that price, I presume they are all online, yeah?
Yes, they're all online. All
Do
of the
you have,
courses till date are online. Yes.
do you plan to have any in-person courses, or are you going to
Yes.
stick with the online for longer?
So I think we are going to continue. We are going to have a mix going forward. We are going to continue having online courses, but we're also figuring out whether we can do some offline courses by tying up with universities. So again, now that universities have opened up, around the world, or like gradually opening up, I think it makes sense to also speak with them on and figure out how we can also make offline programs work. So we'll see how that works, and based on that, we can also scale it up.
Okay, no, that's great to know. And so what I would like to know is then who are the target audience of those programs? You mentioned that you focus in the Indian market, but being online, I presume that people from other countries may apply and enroll as well. And
Yes.
so, and I also presume there isn't really a selection process. You can just go and buy the course and follow that. And
Yeah.
once you complete it, you get a certificate. Is that it?
Yes. So we want to. So the reason for not having a selection process in place is because we know that the barrier to entry is already high enough. Because there is a problem of access when it comes to sports education. So we don't want to sort of keep any filter while we are taking in candidates. And we want to democratize sports education. Like if I have to sum it up that way, which is why we don't have an admission process or selection process in place. Anyone around the world can take up the course from anywhere and do it at their own pace. That's how we intend it to be. For the sports specific courses, for leadership course, I talked earlier that we are focusing on working professionals. But for the sports specific course, we are also looking at students apart from working professionals, because there are a lot of people who during the college time, they want to try something different. They want to try out something which they're more passionate about, which is why we are targeting college students as well as working professionals who want to make a switch to sports, maybe, right?
Right.
So it's open to everyone. Yeah. And like if I have to talk in terms of traffic, most of the registrations that we get are from India, but also we get a lot of registrations from the other areas of the Indian subcontinent, from Australia, from UK, from mostly cricket playing nations, right? So because they sort of relate more to Rajasthan Royals, but we don't intend to have it that way, because if you see all of our courses, so we are not doing cricket marketing, we're doing sports marketing, we're doing sports media, right? So it's across sports, those concepts, regardless of whether you are playing soccer or cricket or hockey or whichever sport, right? So those concepts are going to be applied across sports.
Yeah, so I think you answered here Tanguy's question, because he's actually watching from Portugal, and he wanted to know if that's mostly if your alumni all work in cricket industry, or if there are some also working with football, or even like the other way around, if you have people that are mostly in football countries that would perhaps apply for that course. Since when did you launch your first program?
So first program was launched in September 2020, so 12 months ago, like 13 months ago.
Okay, so it's not like
Yeah.
you have a big cohort of alumni yet,
Yes. Yes.
but
Yes.
I guess you answered Tanguy's question.
Yes. So we do. So most of the people who take our courses, they end up getting associated with the cricket industry. but there are a few people who also get into the field of who get into other sports, right? And again, what Joe was saying, we have been active for a year, right? So we will not have like a very large alumni base. Right now we have more than 1,000 people who have taken our courses globally. But we do have people some people across different non-cricketing sports as well. Also, since this question has been asked, I would like to raise this point that as we scout for new partners for collaboration, we are also looking at doing some courses in the future, which is us collaborating with a football club or a soccer club and collaborating with a university. So we're also planning to do some joint courses wherein we can do where we can have cricket plus soccer plus academia. So we're also open to doing those sorts of partnerships in the future. We are currently exploring those.
Great. Now, there are questions here from, as I said, Hamir, and there's also one from Camila Hernandez. So he read about the course on the website, and that internship. He read that internship opportunities with the Rajasthan Royals could be provided, but what is it, the scope of that internship, and is it possible to turn that into full employment with the Rajasthan Royals? So here there's also a question from Camila, more or less in the same about the same thing, right? About the internship, is it on site or remote?
Sure. So I'll answer Camila's question first. So the internship is remote. Like we are open to having people intern with us remotely. It does not have to be on site. Obviously, if somebody is based out of Mumbai, we can have that person working from Mumbai as well, but there is no geographical restriction. So the internship can be remote as well. Secondly, on Hamir's question on people getting internship opportunities with Rajasthan Royals after they do the course. So yes, that's true. Anyone who takes our course, they get a chance to intern with Rajasthan Royals. And when I say get a chance, they are taken through a process, and their candidature is evaluated. And if they seem like a good fit, we get them on board as an intern. Our internships usually last for 4 to 6 months duration, and within that 4 to 6 months, if we feel that the intern has performed exceptionally, and if we feel that there is a business need to absorb the intern into a full-time role, we do that as well. We have a lot of people who are right now working permanently with Rajasthan Royals and who had started as an intern or as a trainee. So yes, that is definitely there. But obviously, there will be this internship period where your performance will be evaluated, and based on that evaluation, we will consider absorbing that person as full-time in Rajasthan Royals.
Great. There's a question here from Carlos Jose, asking for the URL, the website address to go and check and get that information. I just took a note here, so rajasthanroyals.com. And I also want to acknowledge that Vinicius Lima Almeida here, everybody sees other comments and helps us out as well. So just to acknowledge the help by Vinicius, who also replied to Carlos.
Thanks, Vinicius.
Here, there's Amir wants a sort of a follow-up, asking if internships are paid.
Yes. Interns get a stipend.
Cool.
There was another question which I think we skipped, maybe like before Hamir's question. I saw something on the screen.
This one?
No, after that.
Yeah.
It was this. Yeah.
One.
Saurabh. Yeah. Yes. Sure, Saurabh. So your question is, how long are these courses? Yes. So these courses are usually 4 to 5 weeks long. And in each week, you need to put in anywhere between 3 to 5 hours. Okay. And you can complete it within 4 to 5 weeks. Again, instead of 4 to 5 weeks, you can also do it within 2 to 3 weeks or 6 to 7 weeks. It depends on how much time and effort you're putting within each week. Okay. So there is no time, there's no time limit, so to say, for our other courses. And I'm here talking about courses apart from the Insead leadership course, because for leadership course, we have a specific timeline. But for the Deacon courses, anyone can start at any time and finish at any time. Okay. So that is there. And about the certification, it's a good point you raised about these. The people who take our courses, at the end of the course, they get a certification from Rajasthan Royals and our partner university. So in case of Deakin courses, we do Rajasthan Royals and Deakin University co-branded certificate. And for Insead, we'll do like a Rajasthan Royals and Insead co-branded certificate.
That's great. And you mentioned that you already had more than 1,000 people that did your programs.
Yes.
Are they connected anyhow? Is there a group of people that does those courses?
So we are connected to them, but it's a good point that we want to start building on this community of people who have done our courses or community of alumni. So we are working on setting up an alumni club for people who do our courses, but it's not live yet. But yes, it's something that we're working on right now.
That's great. And what are the further plans for the Royals School of Business?
Sure. So in the future, what we are also coming up with something exciting is that we need not look at just university developed courses. We are also trying to come up with some courses independently, which will be at the lower end of the price spectrum, which will be something that will be shorter courses, shorter duration courses, picking up on specific topics. So something like sports nutrition, or something like sports sponsorship, right? Or business of sports leagues, like how do leagues run, and not just the IPL, but how do leagues run in general, right? The NBA and the EPL, right? So how do leagues run? And also team management in sports. So we have zeroed on these 4 topics that Rajasthan Royals has developed independently, and we are going to release them in probably the next 1 or 2 months. We are going to make them live. They are going to be more cost effective, I would say, and they're going to be shorter duration courses. So that is something that we are planning to roll out, that's already in the works. Apart from that, we are continuously looking for different university partners.
Sorry, when you say shorter duration courses, how shorter?
Yeah. So we're talking about 8 to 10 hours of content in total.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I say 8 to 10 hours of content, it could be a bit lesser content, but people would also be doing activities as part of that. So I'm including the activity time. So that's 8 to 10 hours of total learning experience.
Right. There are other sort of institutions. If we take about clubs, like the Real Madrid has, for instance, a course which is more on the master's side, so longer term. Is that the kind of thing that you're looking into as well, developing a, let's say, a higher degree?
Yeah. So at some point,
focusing on the shorter programs.
So I would say right now we are focusing more on the shorter term courses, but at some point in time, we also want to get into like the longer term courses, which are more degrees. So at some point in time, we'll also start, looking into that front. But for now, we are more focused on shorter duration courses or online courses, if you'd say that.
Right. Are all courses in English?
Yes, all courses are in English at this point.
Great. Here, there's another question. Megraj, can you share some faculty details, that teach the courses, like their backgrounds, maybe a little more information on that?
Sure. So, like I said, as far as the faculty is concerned, there are 2 types of faculty that we have. One is people who are Deakin University professors or the Insead University professor, and the other is who Rajasthan Royals pitches as their expert staff, right? So if I look at if I pick up the sports media course, we have Mayanti Langer as our expert faculty, who is a very well-known name in the field of sports. For the leadership and performance course, we have Kumar Sangakkara and Sanju Samson, who are the expert faculty from Rajasthan Royals. And in addition to that, we have Professor Declan Fitzsimmons, who is from Insead. So who is an Insead professor on organizational behavior. So Professor Declan, you can look him up and you can check out our website. We have a detailed profile of him. Apart from that, we have people from the Rajasthan Royals management as well who administer these sessions, like the head of digital at Rajasthan Royals or the CEO of Rajasthan Royals or head of communications. So we have like a lot of internal management doing some of these case studies as well. We have people externally, like who have been in the initial organizing committee of the IPL, who have worked with well-known sports management agencies in the past, worked with IMG in the past. So we have people with those credentials who are administering these courses.
That's great. There's a few more questions arriving here. By the way, if you do have questions for Abhijit, please send them through. Abhijit, let me ask you, during the event next Wednesday, who else people will be able to meet when they come and come to your booth, and we'll have the. By the way, I should tell people that when they go there, I'm kind of intermediating here the questions, but everyone who attends the event will be able to connect and speak with you directly.
Yes.
Who else will be there as well? You said that you're in contact with all of your alumni. Are you intending to bring anyone else as well so they can also share their experience as students? What's the plan?
Yeah. So apart from me, we have two of our alumni who are also interning with Rajasthan Royals at this point in time. So we
Great.
will have Shaurya and Shavi who have taken our courses in the past, and they are also interning with our team at this point because we just felt, who better than our alumni to talk about these courses, because they'll have much more context and they'll be speaking with much more conviction, right? So we have Shaurya and Shavi who will be representing Rajasthan Royals next week at the Education Expo.
That's great. That's great. Vinicius sent a message here in Portuguese, but I'll read to you, asking about sort of scholarships or sort of discounts. I'm not sure, since you have a lower type of ticket, do you run any promos or can people? Yeah, maybe scholarship is not the right term.
Yeah.
But I don't know
Yeah.
if you do any
Yes,
promotion like that.
we do. We do. So and since we're talking about prices and discounts, so let me lay down how the leadership and performance course from Insead is structured. So we have three tiers within leadership and performance course. Wherein the tier one is more self-guided, wherein you you go through the course modules and you get to learn the content. Then the second tier is where you get direct guidance or one-on-one guidance from INSEAD learning coaches. They try to teach you, they try to coach you. How do you move further in your leadership journey? So they help you with an action learning project wherein each person has their own leadership journey and has their own sort of experience, or they each of their situations are different, right? So these learning coaches will help them chart out a leadership action plan. Okay, so that's tier two, where they get one-to-one guidance from INSEAD coaches. And then there is tier three, where there is a live session with the program faculty, who is Professor Declan. So they will get to speak with him directly. So the three tiers are priced differently. So tier one is around $340. Tier two is around $675 US dollars, and tier three is around $1,000. So these are how the three tiers are priced right now. Right now, all these, the price points that I quoted were our early bird prices, and our
Right.
early bird offer expires this week on Friday. So I hope people here who are attending this and hearing this do take advantage of this offer. If you compare it with the price points that INSEAD has for their leadership courses in general, they are quite high. But because we are doing this as a joint course and we are making this more accessible, which is why Insead has agreed to sort of a more discounted price, or like a more preferential price for people who take up this course. So getting an Insead certification is a matter of great prestige, which I hope people here will be able to take advantage of by claiming this early bird offer, which runs out on Friday. In general, for our other courses, apart from Insead, for the Deakin courses, we have discounts going on right now because we had the IPL season going on, which just finished 3 days back. So we do have discounts running 30% off currently on all our course prices. So instead of $75 for the Sports Marketing Foundation course, you can get it for around $50 to $52, right? So we have 30% discounts going on all our other courses. And for NCR, the early bird offer expires on Friday.
Great. And well, if anyone is watching and apply for a job there, make sure you tell them that you you saw about the early bird here in the show. Now, Tanguy, I think has also another interesting question here for you. He says, I understand the program was launched recently, so maybe hard to quantify, but among your alumni, could you tell us maybe a percentage of them who got a job related to sports since you started the program? Is that something you can track?
So, like I said, now that we are developing an alumni community, we are trying to get information about our alumni in general, people who have taken our course and understand what they're doing right now, understand what they did after completing our course. So we are in the process of collecting that information. So right now, I won't be able to give a percentage of people who have taken up like a job in the sports industry after a program. But if feedback is an indicator, right? So if you see all our courses have like great feedback on a scale of 5, it's mostly around 4.6 or 4.7 stars out of 5, which just shows that the product that we have is a great product. How much of an impact it is making on people's decisions, career decisions after they do our course is something that is right now we are trying to figure out by trying to reach out to all our alumni. So maybe not now, but maybe at some point in the future, I will have like a percentage to give.
That's great. There is, well, I think you already replied to also cinematic visuals. Wanted to know about the duration of the courses and some remote class management. I think you already replied to her since you well, the last thing that you just said. So that was after she posted it.
Sure.
So that was covered. Listen, I think from my end, I think this is what I wanted to know. I'm going to ask you to leave maybe a message to people watching us, maybe an invitation for them to come and meet us next week. If anyone still wants to ask another question before we go, they have another 2 minutes or so. And but Abhijit, anything else? Any other message that you'd like to leave here? Maybe something I should have asked that I didn't. Please.
No, sure. I think we covered like a lot of ground with your questions and with the questions that came in. So thanks for having me again. And we are really looking forward to participate in this Education Expo. This is the first time we as Rajasthan Royals are taking part in this expo, and we really like the concept wherein people like with a very high interest in sports education are coming together in this one place, and all of it is happening virtually. So I wish I had something like this. Like we had something like this a few years back, and I'm sure like a lot of the people in my friend circle would have loved a product like this. So we are really looking forward to take part, interact with a lot of people. I would strongly recommend that everyone who is a part of this call, please check out the courses that we offer as Rajasthan Royal School of Business. If you have any questions, figure out what questions you want to ask us, and please do ask them during the expo. Do check out the courses that we have on our booth. It will give you a good idea. We will leave some case studies, some small snippets from the course for you at the expo booth, so that you can go through them and take a more informed call. But great just happy to meet you all and interact with you. And I look forward to doing that again during the expo.
That's great. That's great. Before we go, just to remind this the leadership course that you do with Insead, that was $1,000, the early bird price. What is the full rate?
The full rate is around $1,200, and the discounted price. So, like I said, there's tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Tier 1 is at $340. Tier 2 is $675, and tier 3 is $1,000.
No, but this is with the discount. The full rate?
Yes. So the full rate is around $1,200.
$1,200, and they can register until the 10th.
Yes, they can
November.
register up till the 10th of November, but the early bird offer expires on Friday this week.
Right, early bird offers expire on Friday. Just to remind people that if they miss the early bird, but they go there and apply and they are accepted, they will also be able to apply for our scholarship that I mentioned, that we're giving up to 5,000 euros in scholarship. So we really want to incentivize education. This is one of our missions. We have two main missions as iWorkinSport. One is to connect talent and employers, and the other one is to promote education, right? Always in sport. So we're happy to do it. We're very glad that you're going to be there. We didn't get any other question now for the last 2 minutes. So we had good participation today. In any case, I'm pleased and I'm thankful to everyone that was watching at home. If you just got that later, delayed, please send a message, write in the comments. We can get back to you. Also do come and join us next Wednesday at the Education Virtual Expo. Abhijit, thank you so much. Everyone watching at home, thanks again. We will be here tomorrow. Just to wrap up, we're doing this this whole week. Tomorrow we have a session with the Johan Cruyff Institute. Then on Wednesday, it's with the University of Liverpool. And on Thursday with the FIFA Master. So it's going to be a busy one, a fun one. And I hope to see everybody there tomorrow as well. Abhijit, don't go anywhere. I'm going to shut this off and I'll come back to chat with you. So please stay there. Bye-bye, everyone. Hope to see you tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.